everyone. Thank you so much for coming. Is this really loud? Okay, great. My name is Katie Jarl. I'm the Texas State Director for the Humane Society of the United States, and I'm here today to present Sergeant Caldwell with a 2012 Humane Law Enforcement Award. Less than 10 of these awards are given out every single year to law enforcement officers across the country that make a stand for animals. And we know that Sergeant Caldwell has an amazing history of standing up for animals and seeking justice for those who hurt them. We know that he was the very first law enforcement officer in the state of Texas to enforce a brand new cockfighting law in our state that was passed by the Texas legislature in 2011, which banned the breeding of birds with the intent to fight, being a spectator at a cockfight, and possessing cockfighting paraphernalia. Now, these are important tools that we know at the Humane Society of the United States that helps law enforcement crack down on these facilities, because so many times we would find out that law enforcement officials would go into a cockfight, people would drop their birds and say, "I was just a spectator," and immediately they were free of any kind of criminal charges. So we were very proud, the Humane Society of the United States was very proud to work on the bill that strengthened those laws, and we weren't surprised that Sergeant Caldwell was the first law enforcement officer in the state to enforce this law. Now, in December of 2011, the Humane Society of the United States contacted the Galveston Police Department and Sergeant Caldwell to tell them about a breeding facility happening in Santa Fe, Texas. You all might remember hearing about this case. It was a big deal. And we know that there were more than 300 roosters living on this property. This person, Jimmy Lee Bradshaw, had been basically thumbing his nose at law enforcement in this area for a long time, advertising his birds in a nationwide cockfighting publication called the Gamecock. And so when we let Sergeant Caldwell know about it, he took swift action. We went in December of 2011 to help them raid this facility, and I'll let him talk a little bit more about that case and how that came to be. But we know also that Sergeant Caldwell, like I said, has a history of standing up for animals. He has advocated for a bigger animal services department here in Galveston County, as well as bringing together state, city, and county officials to talk about how to improve animal welfare in our community. Now, at the Humane Society of the United States, we know that time and time again it has been proven that animal cruelty, people who will commit violence against animals, will oftentimes go on to commit violence against human beings. And rooting out animal fighting operations and animal cruelty within communities is a vital part of maintaining public safety. So at the Humane Society of the United States, we know that we are so glad, along with this community and of course the animals, that Sergeant Caldwell is on our side. So saying that, I want to present Joel with his 2012 Law Enforcement Award.
Katie, thank you. I was very excited when I found out I was going to be getting this award. And to tell you about this particular case, I coordinated the effort, but it couldn't have been executed without the help of everybody involved, especially the Galveston police officers that went up there with me, Precinct 4 Constable's Office, Constable Jimmy Fullen, Galveston County Sheriff's Department, and Sheriff Ford and Captain Benoit, allowing his deputies to go up there and assist with this. Judge Mike Nelson in JP4 was fantastic in understanding the severity of the case and the law when he actually signed the warrants in this deal. Plus the state legislature who made it possible. One of the problems we've had in the state of Texas for years is exactly what Katie talked about. We would get out to one of these operations and these guys could easily throw up their hands and say, "Oh, I'm just here hanging out, having lunch, or I'm drinking a beer with these guys. These are all their roosters." And of course, those guys are going, "Well, it's all their roosters," and you don't, or dogs, and you don't make the arrest you need to. That law gave us the teeth that we needed to put these guys in jail who were raising these roosters for fighting. We also have the ability now to put the dog fighters in jail that we need to. One of the things that we did find out through this case, and Galveston County has been kind of at the lot of the changes that have occurred in the state legislature have occurred because of things that have happened in Galveston County. One of the things that we found out through this case is while the state legislature did a very good job of planning and changing the criminal law, they forgot to change the civil law that went along with this case. And unfortunately, we weren't allowed to seize as many of these birds as we would have liked to have seized. So when the legislature goes back into session in 2013, the Humane Society of the United States, the Texas Humane Legislative Network, and other groups like the Houston Humane Society, the Houston SPCA, the Galveston Humane Society, that are concerned with this problem, we're going to go to Austin and we're going to petition the legislature to change the health and safety code to coincide with the penal code so we can have even more success in the future. But thank you guys very much. I appreciate you, JP, and everybody at the Humane Society of the United States recognizing me. It means a great deal to me. And I appreciate all you, everybody for being here. Thank you.